Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, April 17th, and this is in lieu of tea time with Amy and Bev. Beverly is not feeling well, so we want to send her lots of loving energy. So we can just take a moment after this video or maybe now and just maybe send her some good energy, say a prayer for her well-being, to send her some love, whatever you feel guided to do. She is on the mend. She's doing better, and we just want to love her through this and embrace her energy and send her some good juju. Okay, so with that, I was asked not too long ago to talk about head stress. So how do you deal with head stress? And what I guess my question is, because that was all the information that was given to me, was my question would be, what exactly is your head stress? So I'll give a few examples of what I have and what I could relate it to, and give you some insights. So, and just know this isn't the be all do all. It's what I am aware of. It's what I can offer up in this moment, and take the information that will help you implement it and move forward, and hopefully things will get better. So head stress. First, what comes to me is that your negative self-talk? Are you telling yourself you're worthless, you're not good enough, you're too tall, too fat, too short, too ugly, too thin, too not smart enough, too smart, unlovable? Like, what is the self-talk that you have? Because that would definitely create stress, just saying. So whatever, say, calling it head stress, we're just going to say it's stress. The stress of those thoughts. And what I would look at is, what are the beliefs wrapped around those thoughts? What beliefs do you have? And I will tell you, for an example, my upbringing as a child was mental and emotional abuse. So you can imagine the beliefs that I created as a little girl, and then grew up with that, with the not good enough story. The not good enough story equates to, I'm not loved, I'm not accepted. And so if the father figures in my life, which were stepdads, not my biological dad, stepdads, were mentally and emotionally abusive, that means I had to learn how to appease them, so people pleasing and fixing, so that I wouldn't get in trouble or yelled at or sent to my room or isolated or got a swat on the butt or whatever it was. And so then in my later years, teenage, well, from little girl on up, so whatever that was, whatever the age that was, so in my growing up and into my adulthood, always seeking the love of a male, and that would create the stories. So let's, like, when you start dating, some kids start dating in elementary school, right? A week or 2 weeks, like eternity. And then when you get into junior high or middle school, that, a month, whoo, that's a lot. And then when you get into high school, if you make it like 3 months or 6 months, that's wild. So, but every time the relationship ended, it was, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. I'll never be good enough. I don't know why they don't like me. And just creating all those stories in my head about myself, that there was something wrong with me, when really they were dealing with their own stuff in their childhood, in their teenage years. They had their own stuff going on. And I had no idea what that was, but I always blamed myself. So that negative self-talk can be very, very detrimental to yourself, to your spirit, to your soul, to your body. It's just flat out depression, sadness. So be aware of your negative self-talk. How do you change that? Well, tell yourself something different. The facts were, he broke up with me. End of story. That was it. It was nothing more than that until I brought more of me into the story, more of my beliefs, more of my struggles about myself, about my relationships with men or males, my wanting to be good enough. The fact was they broke up. And nothing more than that. And again, I didn't know their story and what they were dealing with and what they were trying to do and what they were trying to get out of the relationship. And maybe they had mommy issues and I wasn't fulfilling that void for them. But I didn't know that at the time, right? That would definitely not be in my wheelhouse. Negative self-talk. Change what you're telling yourself. You've been through incredible things in this life, situations, circumstances, unhealthy relationships, all the things that you've been through have dealt with in your life. You could start telling yourself how dynamic you are, how persistent you are, how diligent you are, how strong you are, how brave you are, how courageous you are, right? If you start telling yourself, not looking in the mirror, you can say you are, but look in the mirror and say, I am brave, I am courageous, I am strong, I am diligent, I am persistent, I am consistent, I am showing up for myself. I have made it this far. I know I can get through just about anything that life hands me. I know I could probably get through it. It might be a little bumpy. I might get some bumps and bruises along the ways. It's okay. After what I've already experienced, I imagine I could probably get through just almost anything. And so to tell myself that feels way better than the opposite. Okay, so really start talking to yourself differently. So think about that little girl inside who developed those beliefs that I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, they don't love me, he don't love me, she don't love me, I can never get it right, I'm always getting things wrong, right? What would you tell a child if they were actually standing in front of you saying these things? What would you tell that child? You wouldn't stand there and go, yeah, you're right, you're a dumbass, I can't believe you got that wrong, you should have known better. You are not going to tell that little child standing there in front of you those types of words. You would say what? No, you are smart. You can do anything. You have the ability to get through this, and I'm here to support you. And right, you would talk to it in such a loving and kind and compassionate way. Do that for yourself. Look in the mirror. Talk to your little girl or little boy inside and talk to them in such a way as if that little person was standing outside of you, struggling, saying negative things about themselves. That's a fantastic way to start. I mean, probably a lot of you that are listening may have grandchildren. If your grandchild was standing there in front of you saying negative things about themselves, how would you talk to them? And if you know how you would talk to them in such a kind, compassionate, loving way, then look in the mirror and talk to yourself that way. That's what you need. That's what your spirit needs. That's what that little person inside needs. Do that. Okay? Negative self-talk. Another piece of head stress, worry. What are you worried about? Worry is a waste of time. Flat out, end of story, a waste of time. And you cannot, in anything that I talk about, negative self-talk, worry, and the other stuff, you cannot get that back. Time is something we cannot get back. You cannot get it back in this life. Time has passed, time has passed, time has passed. It's done. So if you're going to sit and worry about something, you are wasting time, precious time that you don't have. And I know you've heard it, that the older you get, the more you're like, I don't know how much time I have left on this planet. Well, you know what? We didn't know that when we were born. We didn't know that when we were still in the womb. We don't know how much time we're going to be in the physical body. Our spirit might, with some kind of soul contract and all that, but that's a whole nother topic, and some of you that just might blow your mind. So I won't go there. But the idea is, we do not know how much time we have in this body or on this planet, and this is, time is precious, right? My time I'm spending to talk to you, if you're choosing to listen, and I'm not going to get this time back, but I'm choosing to be here with you to talk about this. I could be sitting in my recliner in my pajamas, kicking up my feet. I could be having a conversation with a friend and laughing and enjoying my time, but I'm choosing to use my time to be here with you, knowing I can't get this time back. But you know what? It feels good to me to be here. And that's what I want to spend more time doing, is doing things that feel good. And you will have an indicator within yourself to know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Worry does not feel good. Worry is a waste of time. I can't say that enough. Worry is a waste of time. Wayne Dyer, loved the guy in his teachings, loved listening to him. He had one of those very calm and soothing voices. And he was just an awesome teacher. And I say was because he has transitioned, just so you know. And I'm sure he's still teaching us from spirit. He said, if you have control over something, there is nothing to worry about. And if you don't have control over something, there's nothing to worry about. So that leaves absolutely nothing to worry about. Worry, I've also heard worry is praying for something that you don't want to happen. Let that sink in. You are praying for something that you don't want to happen. Makes no sense, does it? And I get it. I used to do it. Every negative thing I could think about my future was in my head. And I call it the what if avenue. It's fear-based. It is, what if everything goes wrong? What if they do this and then this happens and then what if that happened? And then, oh my God, what if that? And we just go through this whole entire scenario of everything that could go wrong. And if you've done this, if you've practiced this in your lifetime several times, you have probably figured out that 99.9% of the time, anything that you thought about didn't happen. I had a girlfriend who, she would what if something to death. Like, it was nonstop. It was nonstop. Every scenario she could think of, she thought about, and everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. Everything about what could go wrong. So, how about we switch it? How about we switch the worry from what if avenue that's fear-based to what if avenue that feels good? What if everything goes right? What if I have the most incredible medical staff to help me with this energetic block and discomfort in my body? What if my finances turn around and money comes from so many different avenues, and it's such a relief that my bills are getting paid. I don't have to think about it anymore. The money's in the account. What if I go on this vacation and I meet people and it catapults my my business, or I make some new friends, and then I have new places to visit because they've invited me to come hang out with them wherever they live. And then what if through that I meet the love of my life? And I would never have met him if I wouldn't have gone on this vacation or this trip. What if, I don't know, what if I leave this job and the doors open for me and the next job is available, and it's so incredible and so refreshing to work with people who get along and enjoy their time together and work together as a team and are interested and focused on the development of a company, of a business that is beneficial for humanity. What if I get to retire and then I get to travel more often, or I get to spend more time with my grandkids, or right? What if something that feels good, which feels a lot better than the what if avenue of fear of crap? You just got to tell different stories. You got to redirect your focus. You have to do that. Like nobody can, this is the deal. Nobody can do this stuff for you. Nope. I did all the trainings. I did all the certification programs. I did all the things. I read over 100 books. And what it came down to is if I don't implement it, I'm not going to change. If I don't implement it, my life is not going to change. If I don't implement it, my relationships don't change. If I don't implement it, my finances don't change. If I don't implement it, my health doesn't change. I had to do the work, and nobody can do it for me. Nobody can do it for you. You have to be the one that wants it. You have to be the one that's committed to yourself. You're the one that has to feel like, I want to feel good. I want to feel better. You. The change starts with you. If you're expecting people outside of yourself, your husband, your kids, your coworkers, your doctors, your friends, your relatives, if you are expecting anybody else to change so that you can be happy, you are wasting your time. You're wasting your time. It's not going to happen. Because one person might be changing, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad they changed, and whew, things are good. Well, you know what? Somebody else is going to replace that personality because it's your issue. It's not about them, it's about you. So until you change your perspective of life, you change your perspective of people, you start telling new stories, you start talking to yourself in a better way. Until you do something different, nothing is going to change. And you will remain unhappy. And nobody can make those changes except you, because those changes come from within. Not without, meaning outside of yourself, within, from you. Okay, that was worry. Another head stress topic, overwhelm. Being overwhelmed. I know what this is. I know what it feels like. And I lived by it for a very, very long time. Overwhelm will keep you stuck. Overwhelm will keep you, will shut you down. Overwhelm will send you into depression. But here's the deal. Overwhelm is created because you're not good with your time management. Overwhelm is created because you don't know how to set boundaries. Overwhelm is created because you don't know how to say no. Overwhelm is created because you want to feel loved and accepted, so you're a people pleaser and fixer, and so you commit to these different things for other people, strapping yourself with time and finances and your health and your relationships to appease other people. And that will create overwhelm, because if you do not take control over your schedule, if you do not schedule your stuff, if you are not good with your time management, somebody else will. Somebody else will fill it in for you. Don't worry. You'll get plenty to do. You have plenty to do because you're not taking the time to set your schedule and sticking to that schedule and allowing people to take advantage of your time. So overwhelm will set in. Here's the other thing. Your overcommitment is because you do want to feel loved and accepted, because you are living from that people-pleasing ideology or behavior, because that's what you learned when you were a little girl. It's the little girl running the show. Still wanted to be loved and accepted. So when somebody asks you to do something, you feel obligated or you feel guilty if you don't do it, and all the things. And you keep saying, oh, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, of course I would do that. Oh, yes, oh, yes. And then once the door's shut, conversation's over, you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to be able to fit this into my schedule. Why did I say yes to them? I really didn't want to do it. And you start beating yourself up, right? Now negative self-talk comes in. And then what happens with that worry? I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I don't know. I got all these other things, all these other commitments I have. And I told them I would do this. And right? So they all kind of go hand in hand. It's a hamster wheel. So overwhelm, a lot of that has to do with time management. And if you have to take control of that. You do. So all of this is fear-based. All of it is fear-based. And to me, there's two paths. There's a path of love or a path of fear. And those will be indicators in your body of what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And if it doesn't feel good, you have to make a change. Nobody else can do that for you. There are probably other things that I could talk about as far as head stress. Oh, here's what I could talk about. Here's what I wanted to add as well. Stress is the number one cause of most diseases. Only 10% of the, only about 10% of, well, I don't want to say that because I don't think I'm getting it right. So what I will say is stress is the number one cause of most diseases. So you go to the doctor, they do all the tests, they run all the things, and then they're like, I don't know, we don't know what's wrong with you. And then they say it's in your head, and that makes you mad, and you need to go get another opinion. So you go seek out another doctor, and you just keep trying to figure out what is wrong with me, not taking into consideration what is your self-talk. Are you overwhelmed? Are you in this space of worry? Are you in unhealthy relationships? Are you eating unhealthy? How are your finances? How is your job? How are the people that you hang around with? Are they negative people or do they lift you up? Right? There's a whole package to us. There's a whole environment to us. There's so much that contributes to our way of being within ourselves based on how we're perceiving life. If you are perceiving life through the lens of negativity, overwhelm, worry, fear, then you're stressed. Plain and simple. You got any of that going on, you're stressing your body out. Now, when you stress your body out, that puts your body on fight or flight. We're going to run, or we're going to fight. What are we going to do? Guess where you need to have all the energy then? So the blood flow gets restricted from the trunk, which means your main organs that are super important, just saying, and the energy goes to your arms and legs. Because it's ready. It's on high alert. It's time to do something. We got to run. We got to fight. We're going to do something. It's about survival. So your body is ready. Here's the thing. You are in this state at such so much time of your day that it feels normal to you to be in, for your body to feel tense, your body to just, you're getting the headaches, you're getting the tension, tightness, you're getting the discomforts in your muscles and your joints, and you're just a ball of mess because subconsciously you're stressing your body out, and your body is ready to fight or flight. And until you learn to take deep breaths, relax the body, let the blood flow, you are going to be in that hyper alert survival mode. And the things that start to, the discord, the dis-ease, the stuck energy, the aches and pains come to the surface because your body's tired of your shit and needs to get your attention somehow. And then what do we do? Because I did it too. We go and put a Band-Aid on it, meaning we go take the prescription, we take it over to the counter, we do everything outside of ourselves that we give the power to, instead of sitting and going within and learning to breathe deep, to learning to calm ourselves, to learn to be with ourselves, to learn to love ourselves, to learn to feel the peace within ourselves. We don't do that. And I'm a prime example with my life, because the abandonment from biological fathers, abusive stepfather, constantly not good enough, being molested, thinking about suicide from 14 to about 35, consistently every single day and every single way I could do it. So that was 21 years, consistent. I was very consistent about it. Every single day, thought about it. People would be better off without me. I'd be better off if I wasn't around. All the stories. Then alcohol, had a baby. Like, it was constant. Stress is all that was going on within my body, my mind, in any given time that I had time to think about it. Every day I had a headache. Every single day I had a headache. And every single day I was taking over-the-counter pain relief so that I could continue on with my day. Every single day I was taking this. I carried a bottle in my purse. When I learned that headaches were about overthinking, negative self-talk, how I was perceiving life, right? Through my eyes, through my lenses, how I was perceiving life, which was horrible, obviously, especially if I was thinking about suicide every freaking day. Horrible. All that internal stuff that was going on in my head created a headache. And then it would come down in my neck and my shoulders. And then my back would hurt on a regular, because, well, I'll just add this, that the back is a representation of your support. So I didn't feel supported by no means. The headaches, neck and shoulder tension. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. So that was always stressed. So stress can do such damage to our bodies. And yeah, the over-the-counter pain relief worked until the next day. And until the next day, and until the next day. It was constant. It was like, gonna take this today. Where's my bottle? Right? Well, when I started learning to shift from having negative self-talk to talking to myself in a nice way, talking to my little girl inside who needed that love and compassion that she didn't get when she was little, and started thinking about all the incredible things that could happen instead of how everything could go wrong, and getting better at saying no, being better with my time and my schedule, my calendar, my time management. When I started taking responsibility for all that and shifting it and changing it, and having more relaxation in my body, very seldom do I take an over-the-counter pill for a headache. I don't even carry the bottle anymore. I haven't carried the bottle in my purse for years. And now when I feel things coming on, if I feel a headache, if I feel the tension and tightness in my neck and shoulders, I'm on it. What am I thinking about? How am I perceiving my life? If my back starts hurting, how am I feeling unsupported, right? And I do that internal, where's the word? Internal, I want to say healing, but it is like healing that within myself. Am I actually supported? Yes, I am. Am I still good enough? Yes, I am. Did I fail? No, because I learned from it. Still growth. I'm okay with that. Why do I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders? Well, because I'm feeling a strain of time, or a strain of on my commitments, or I feel like I'm not going to meet this deadline. Okay, how can we switch that? Take a breath. I have this saying that I use, that I have all the time, space, and energy that I need to complete the tasks that need my attention today. When I lean into that, it's like magic. Everything just starts clearing. I've had clients cancel, and I'm like, actually be thankful. Oh my gosh, so thankful that they needed to reschedule, because it created space for me to take care of this thing that I've kind of been stressed out about, right? But when I relax and breathe, and I tell myself a new story, and I believe in the fact that things are going to work out, and I have all the time and space and energy I need to complete those tasks, it's like magic. And the thing is, I believe it. And that's the best part. I believe it, and it works. So keeping in mind that you have two options: relax and embrace life and enjoy it, or suffer. And we don't have to suffer. We've been taught to suffer. We do not need to suffer. That was a learned behavior. It is handed down generations, hundreds of years, about suffering. And we don't have to suffer. Nobody can make you feel guilty. You make yourself feel guilty when you say no. Nobody can make you feel guilty. And our spirit is here to embrace life, to enjoy life, to have fun, to play, to be creative. And you get to choose that. Or you can feel stuck. You can put yourself into sadness or depression. You can hate life. But here's what I realized, because I was full of anger. Like, I had high level of anger, and then added resentment and guilt and shame and all the things, right? All heavy emotions. And when you are feeling hopeless, that's like right when people are thinking about or do commit suicide. It's tough to come out of that. It's tough to come out of that. But I had to sit with myself, and I had to recognize that I could not imagine. A lot of people believe this: we get this one life, when it's over, that's it, we're done. If that's your belief, okay. It's not my belief. I believe we come back time and time again into different bodies to have different lifetime experiences and for spiritual growth and expansion. So I believe in that. However, if you are somebody who believes that this is the only life you get, this is it, nothing more, and you're done. Even with the belief I have that we come back lifetime after lifetime, why? This was my thought. It's like, why would we come in? Why would we have this life to, in my case, be angry, full of shame, guilt, criticism, judgment, hopelessness, despair, jealousy, envy, and to hang on to all of that and not know when I was going to take my last breath? So I could I had those thoughts, right, all the way up till my mid-30s, so I would say 35, about suicide. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to be on this planet, but I did believe I was going to be here for a very long time. So I meant at least another 50, 60, 70 years. So that puts me like 80, 90s, 100s. And I could not imagine living that much longer, feeling those heavy emotions, the anger, shame, guilt, criticism, all the things. I did not want to live. That was the thing. I did not want to live the rest of my life, however long that is, feeling like that. That really upset. I was like, no. I'm not living the rest of my life feeling this way. And guess what? Guess who had to change it? Me. I had to change that. Nobody could do it for me. So you have to decide. Okay. I chose to live, obviously. I'm here. I chose to live. I am a beacon of light, shining that light on the path, giving people hope, showing them it's possible, because it's not very often now that I get sad or depressed. It's not very often that that I get angry and hang on to it. It's like short-lived, like just short-lived, very short-lived. It's not very often that I feel discomforts in my body where I need to take something to relieve the discomfort. It's like my life's good and it keeps getting better. And I have the expectation that it's going to keep getting better and better and better. But that's for me to do. Nobody can do that for me. So that's what I want you to hear the most is you have to make the changes. You have to do it. You have to do it within yourself. You have to change that self-talk, be better at your time management, change what you're thinking about as far as the what ifs. It has to come from you. So I hope this helps you. I hope that you got something out of it. And what I would say is take one thing. If you took notes, if you have all these notes, if you have all these things that I said that you're like, oh my God, I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to do that. Just reel it in, take a breath. And here's what I would ask you to do. Just implement one thing for now. Just implement one thing for now. Let that become a regular for you. Let it, they say, let it become a habit where you just, after a while, you just do it automatically and it's easy. Then implement something else. Okay? And just keep doing that. Be easy with yourself through this process. Be easy with yourself through the changes. Be easy with yourself in learning new things and practicing new things. Be easy with yourself. And give yourself some ease and grace. And do what you can with the time and energy that you have. And then implement the next. And then implement the next, right? It's just going to be a constant of learn, implement, grow, learn, implement, grow, learn, implement, grow. Like it's a continuous thing. So I got to where I am. Took me a while, but here I am. And it just keeps getting better and better. And that's my expectation for me, for my life. And that sure feels a lot better than the way I used to be. So again, I hope this helps you. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you could post something that you got out of this, that maybe something you're going to implement, maybe some aha moments that you got. Just share with us in the comments and I'll come back to those as soon as I can. But, and have the conversations, right? Have the conversations about this with your friends and family or the people that you resonate with you, who could have these conversations and share the video. Share the video. This is going to be our tea time with Amy and Bev, and it's going to be available. The recording will be available in this community, in a couple other Facebook pages, a couple other groups, on YouTube. It's available on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict. So there's several different avenues to access this video, and share it with somebody who you feel would benefit from it. Because there's a lot of stress on this planet that would be great to shift, right? To help people feel better within themselves. So have the conversations, share the videos, share the content, and just start changing something for you so you can move on to that journey of feeling better. All right, my friends. With that, again, send Bev some, hopefully by the time you see this, she's doing a lot better. by the time you see the recording. So send her some good vibes. But you know what? Even so, if you're watching this, it's always great to send some good vibes or some prayers or love to the people, or all the time. All the time. So you're watching this video, whenever you're watching this video, you send it to Bev, you send it to me, you send it to your friends, family, whatever. Just a reminder to keep sending out some love to all those you care about, and even those that you struggle with, because they need it too. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me, because I know you could have spent your time doing anything else and you chose to listen to this. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.